Okay, so AEW Dynamite finished up, and Adam gave us his reasoning for why he joined AEW. Now, I will say I'm glad that somebody, Kenny Omega, decided to do a little bit of a joke about his name, Edge. You know, kid did big. I mean, obviously, I thought I would have loved it if we would have did a whole bunch of them. You know, a whole bunch of just like it's just like yeah, when you push me to the edge, or or it's like it's like I was like you edged long enough, or this this is the Cliff hasn't. Okay, maybe it's a little bit. I was like, yo, they supposed to. I was like, yo, they professional. They do this way better than I do, or whatever. But anyway, I was like, Ed showed up, and I was like, it's one of those where it's like, it's great. You know, he's happy. You know, meeting everybody, shaking their hand, and all that other stuff. Um, yeah. So anyway, they saving him for last. Was pretty good dynamite or whatever, and of course you knew how it was going to end. Basically, of course, what we all thought. He want to wrestle against some of the new players that he would never probably be able to wrestle against with WWE. Of course, we all sort of knew that. He did reference that he talked about the AEW Championship, and I think that's a big thing, considering the fact that I feel like the way he said it makes it sound like it's actually a thing that could happen more so than what we may have thought from Brian and whatnot. And then I was like, really, because we all sort of feel like at some point Cole is going to get the championship. CM Punk did it, but it didn't take long. Uh, I doubt Keith Lee ever gets that to that point, or Miro or Black, to be honest. So I feel like him saying it is a really actual like meaningful thing to where it's like, okay, cool, maybe not this year, but in a couple years. Because he also made it sound too that he said 4, 8, 12, like the years of the anniversaries and stuff like that. I don't think he's gonna be around that long. 4 years, I can see him being around 4 years. I don't see him. I don't really see any more after that in that type of way. Like I've like Sting's still doing it. I was like, I think like Brian, I think he'll come back around. He just won't be wrestling how he is now. That kind of thing. So he'll still be around. But I think him saying that is like he got a couple years where championship. I think it'll happen not with MJF, but after the person who he loses it to. Whoever MJF loses it to, I think that's when it's more possible. Because to be honest, he's sort of stuck in sort of a similar situation that he was in WWE with the Bloodline, where you got this guy that's got the title and he's been reigning for a hell of a long time, and it's too much in the story, and he's too good right now in order to take it off for just anybody. And I feel like that's where MJF is. I don't like MJF. MJF is not going to lose the Switchblade and lose it there. I was like, I don't think he's going to lose the Cole either. So it's just a matter of like who is he going to sort of lose it to. But so Ed said that, and he said the championship. Then of course the last part was basically he brought the kids into it. Whatever, that's cool. And we break. I was like, I guess the whole thing of like not treating your audience as stupid by being like his actual name versus what y'all call him, that kind of thing. But Christian come to the ring, blah blah blah, and he's like, "Yo, tag team, let's do this one last time. Show these youngsters how to do this kind of thing or whatever." Of course, Chris is like, "F off." Uh, he got a match. Ed got a match against Luchasaurus. What they already showed us for next week, so that sort of already knew that how this was going to go, and the fact that Chris was going to deny it. But anyway, he did. I was like, Luchasaurus went down to the ring. He basically ended that. He ended that the youngster Nick Wright dude, or whatever his name is. And that's going to be a thing. Um, so couple things. One, the reasoning was just like, man, to me, whatever. I was like, he's an AEW, that's cool. I'm not one of the people that's like, oh, I don't think he's ruined his legacy. But if you do feel a way, I was like, it's your opinion. I was like, your feelings, you can feel a certain type of way. I was like, I don't think it's like hurting him or whatever. I'm not gonna call y'all a certain way for thinking that. But I'm not gonna lie, though, the reasoning is very just like weak to me. And sometimes AEW do this where sometimes the motivation, I was like, it's weak. Don't get me wrong, WWE had their stuff too sometimes where it's just like dumb. But this one's also just very weak but I was like, I guess it's genuine, so people will just let it ride and be okay with it. Whatever, that's cool. Also made me think too that if WWE would have allowed Christian after that Royal Rumble, and they would have gave him a contract to stay in WWE. Granted, yes, he wouldn't been able to do anywhere close to the crap that he's doing in AEW. Nowhere close, because he getting away with some stuff in there. But say they let him have a run of like, he pretty much gonna be mid card. He wasn't gonna be heavyweight championship or nothing like that. Maybe he'd be in like matches, for it, but he wouldn't win it or nothing like that. So see how long he would have stuck out and doing that anyway. But say that he was still in WWE, would Adam have moved to AEW? Because it really sounds like his motivation for moving to AEW was really because Christian there. So that makes me think, like, if he was still in WWE, would he have moved? Now, granted, Christian wouldn't probably have stayed in WWE as long as Edge has, after they both like came back. But you could sort of see that it's like, okay, but if he was there, would he have stayed? Yeah, that's sort of, I guess, why it's sort of like man to me, because I mean, yes, I get fighting against new people you never had before. I mean, technically that could be said with the WWE people as well, because there's a couple people, there's people on there as well. But these are like more established talent or more, high profile people that you could do on AEW. You can do a lot more stuff on AEW. I know he said he wanted to do more, and I'm like, you can do more than what you could in WWE in regard to talking, matches, all that stuff. So I don't blame him on none of that. But I don't feel like the situation is really any more. Like, he has his reason. He want to go. He could go. That's what he wants to do. It's up to him. I was like, I don't, whatever. But just looking at it, I'm like, I sort of just feel like, just tell me you just wanted to do, like, take on new challenges and new opportunities. That's fine. I was like, all this other stuff, I'm like, you pretty much in the same spot as you was at WWE with the, like, championship. They're not really a spot for you to really be up in that spot yet. Talent or fighting new talent, I was like, yeah, you could do that over there. But also too, what I think it is that over in WWE, even if you wanted to wrestle new talent, all the other stuff, you were still known as Edge. You are up here, and you're not doing up here things. You're not fighting for championships. You're not being in high profile matches. Whereas AEW, you get to be Adam. And because he came over from WWE, while we might be like, oh snap, Radar Superstar, Ed, but he's Adam now, and all those, you're here, to be honest. Like, you don't have to strive to be Edge. You can strive to be Adam. And Adam is a different character, or sorta, not really, than Edge. So therefore, you're sort of right here. And therefore, the expectations or where you feel like you should be doing is right, is like here. So therefore, if you, like, WWE, you should be fighting for titles, especially after you came back and stuff. And you did. He has. I was like, to be honest, he has. He just was going up against Roman Reigns in the Bloodlines like story. If that wasn't going on, Edge would have won the championship. He would have. Too much. I was like, too much money in it, and he was at the peak of, like, especially he was coming through. There wasn't really new players at the time either. So of course, yeah. Now I was like, AEW. I'm like, you're sitting in the same boat. TNT title, Christian got it, so that's gonna be a feud that you may or not do, to where you try to convince him to come back over to the good side or whatever you want to call it. But the main championship, that's tied up. I guess you could have him like in the Phoenix and Moxley with the international title. You could have him in that. Eventually, at some point, he's gonna be doing some tag team stuff. So there's that. But I was like, you're not really doing anything necessarily different. I was like, and the new people here as well too, but so I was like, but either way, I was like, give people a watch. Maybe you bring back some old people or whatever, just to be like, oh, what he doing over here, or not. But hey, I was like, he's over there now. No reason to really like complain until we get to the point where it's like, well, what are they doing? Because a lot of the WWE play people. But since he's involved with Christian, which I wish that it wasn't this soon, to be honest. Uh, I wish he would. I wish he did other stuff in other matches with other people before he got necessarily to Chris, because we already knew that's where that was going to go and whatnot. But hey, we'll see how maybe he got control of his creative, and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, what do you think? Did you agree with him going, not going? Did you agree with how he said it, that he wanted to do this or that? Are you fine? What are you looking for? Who you want to see him match up against? But anyway, let me know. I was like, you like this video or not, and all those other things. If not, hey, maybe next time. But until then, I'll see you.